Guys, I'm Steve. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. If it's your first time stopping by the channel, hit that subscribe button. Trust me, you won't regret it. You're a returning subscriber as always, guys. Welcome back, and I do appreciate the support. Guys, I've been reporting on this situation about the two New Orleans jailbreak escapees that escaped a couple of weeks ago out there in New Orleans jail. And we had broke the story earlier today that two of them were caught in Huntsville, Texas, a prison town, trying to evade police before crashing a car they was driving in a high-speed chase. And these two individuals are Leo Tate and Jermaine Donald. Now, I have video of them getting arrested, police video of them getting arrested, and also video of them being, I guess, arraigned in jail court or whatever and told their charges. I want to show you something. Now, it's already bad enough that these guys went out and escaped. And, one of my things with me is you don't want to look crazy when getting arrested. And you don't want to look crazy doing something as wild as trying to escape. And then they ain't going to treat you with any respect when they catch you because you shouldn't have ran in the first place. I want y'all to look at this, how they ragged out these dudes out of the car. They pulled them like they were dusty rugs. And then listen to them in court, man. The charges they got and just the rest of it. Take a look.
Police released body camera or dash cam video of the chase that led to the arrest of two inmates who escaped from a New Orleans jail 2 weeks ago. Leo Tate and Jermaine Donald were taken into custody just yesterday. You can see there one of the men being pulled through a back passenger window. Now, the two men made their first court appearance this morning at the Walker County Jail, where they're being held now. That's where Devon Roming joins us live. Devon, what happened in today's court hearing?
Well, Ugochi, both men appeared this morning and were read their rights. We also learned more about the charges they both are now facing. Now, both men are facing charges of aggravated escape out of Louisiana, while Jermaine Donald has been charged with evading arrest here in Walker County. According to Huntsville police, both escaped inmates were spotted yesterday in an SUV and were pulled over moments before the chase began and ended in a crash near 190 and Geneva Road. We're told U.S. Marshals and members of the Gulf Violent Offender and Fugitive Task Force had been working tips all day long yesterday that the two might be in the area. Of course, this is a story that's made national attention for nearly 2 weeks now after 10 inmates escaped the Orleans Parish Jail. The inmates were able to lift a cell door off its rack, pull a toilet from a wall, and crawl through a hole in the wall before escaping through the loading dock. A maintenance worker at the jail is also charged with helping the inmates escape. Meanwhile, a third inmate was also captured yesterday in Baton Rouge. Right now, there are only two more escaped inmates on the run. That's Antoine T. Macy and Derek Groves. Police have not indicated where they may be, but if you see them, you're asked to contact police. Now, both men are being held without bond on their charges out of Louisiana, but Donald actually had a bond set for $10,000 on the local charge that he's facing for evading arrest here in Walker County. Meanwhile, these two will have to go before another judge later on in the coming days or even the next week or so, who will decide when they'll be extradited back to Louisiana. But for the time being, they're being held in this building right here behind me in Walker County. For now, live in Huntsville, Devon Roming, KHOU 11 News.
Mr. Tate? Good. All right, sir. But Leo Tate, correct? Yes, sir. All right, but I'm Judge Fisher. Just here to make sure you understand what your charges are and your rights, okay?
Charges.
Your charges?
Charges.
You have two charges out of Louisiana, one for aggravated escape and the other one for obstruction of justice. Okay, that's all the paperwork I have right now that indicate those two. If there's any more that we have not gotten that from Louisiana or anybody else. Okay? So you have the right to hire an attorney to represent you. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
You have the right to have an attorney present prior to during any interview questioning by peace officer attorneys representing the state. Understand?
Yes, sir.
You have the right to remain silent. You are not required to make a statement. Any statement you make can and may be used against you in court. And you have the right to stop the interview question anytime. Understand? You have the right to have an examined trial on the felonies. And you have the right to request appointment of counsel if you cannot afford it. Understand, sir? Okay. So are you gonna need a court appointed attorney or are you gonna hire your own? You gonna need a court appointed or are you gonna hire your own? Hire your own. Sorry, a little bit of feedback. I got to be able to hear on a little bit. All right, in according to Louisiana and teletypes and all, there's no bond set unless it's out of state, okay? So that's all I do today. You'll have to have another hearing in the near future with a different magistrate over extradition about going back to Louisiana or not, okay? I'm just here to make sure you understand what the two charges are and your rights, okay? If I can get you to sign on the X on both of these, it is not a plea of guilt in any manner. It's just indicating that I read you your rights to you, spoke to you about attorney, and just put the no bonds, okay? You'll just sign those, hand them back to me, and I'll get you your copy. How did you copy? Best wishes to you, sir.
You too. Keep going.
All right, you can go and have a seat. Come on.
Okay. Jermaine Donald? Okay. Just make sure. Sometimes we get that older, we'll make sure it's the right person. Ms. Donald. Sorry, it took a few minutes because we're trying to get some of the paperwork from Louisiana. So everything that I have at this time, this is what you've been charged with. You have an aggravated escape out of Louisiana, and you have a parole violation in Louisiana. And then locally, they charge you with evading arrest or detention, class A misdemeanor. Okay? You have the right to hire an attorney to represent you. Understand that? You have the right to have an attorney present prior to during any questioning by peace officer attorneys representing the state. Okay. You have the right to remain silent. You're not required to make a statement. Any statement you make can and may be used against you in court. Understand? You have the right to stop the interview question anytime. You have the right to have an examined trial of the felonies. And you have the right to request appointment of counsel if you cannot afford it. Understand that, sir? Okay. So are you gonna get your own attorney or are you gonna need a court appointed?
Court appointed.
Court appointed? Okay. That's for local charge in Louisiana?
In Louisiana.
Yeah.
Court appointed too.
Okay. here with me just a second. I got to do the engine form for you, okay? Basically, I got to do answer some questions here so we can, send this to the court for the court appointed attorney. Give me 1 second, fill that out. Mr. Donald, do you have any children you're financially responsible for? Do you have any
No,
children you're financially responsible for?
no,
Again, what I'm doing is asking these questions to send to the court, so then the court can determine to get you a court appointed or not. So I'm not trying to get all this just for no reason. Do you have a salary, monthly salary?
no,
Okay. Do you have any income, social security, food stamps, anything? No? Do you have any expenses?
no,
No rent, mortgage, job care? No? Okay. Okay, sir. There's gonna be 3 different forms, there's one on each charge on each form. If I can just get you signed here on the X on all 3, it is not a plea appeal. All it's indicating is that I read your rights to you, spoke to you about an attorney, and you're asking for a court appointed. That's why we did that form. Of course, the 2 Louisiana charges, there's no bonds on those, and then I put 10,000 on the local charge today. Okay? You have any questions?
no.
All right, just sign those 3 and back to me, and I'll get your copies to you, and we'll be done. Yeah, don't do it like that, just lay it flat, bud. There you go, just like that. All right, there's your copies. As I told the other gentleman, that's all that happens today. Just make sure you understand your rights and whether there's bond, no bond, an attorney. Being an out-of-state charge, you have a local charge, so you has to be resolved. But then you'll have another hearing soon. You'll have to see a different judge over about extradition, whether you go back to Louisiana or not, okay?
All right.
All right, man, that's what you think.